I'm Rob.
And I'm Louie.
And this is our Dreamback VR review
by Barefoot Gaming.
Louie, how many lighters would you say you used up in this game?
A bajillion. That's not even a real number, but that's how many I found.
We rounded it up a little bit, but we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yes.
The lighter mechanic is something on its own. Louie, what kind of game is this? What's the story? That's what'll grab you.
It is a horror, spooky, frightening genre of game, and you're an electrician who's hell-bent on fixing this guy's electricity.
And that is no joke. Now, this guy will go to any ends to get into that house.
Yes.
To fix it, because if you don't answer the door, that's not going to stop you, the character, from continuing.
Yes.
And it was something I said actually when I first walked up to it. I'm like, oh, I guess they're not home. After I've walked through their family crypts, for example, they're not answering the door. Maybe I'm not keen to crawl through the window, but if you want to keep playing the game, you're crawling through the window and you are going through this. Now, we are going to stay spoiler-free. Let's talk about one of the unique mechanics of the game, because the game it all happens in like this really big house, and there's like kind of puzzles that you have to solve. You have to find clues, but talk about the lighter.
The lighter lights candles. Now, not every candle. No, not every candle. Only the kind of thicker single candles
that have a little icon.
They have a little icon next to them. There are other candles that are kind of like a little candelabra with 3 candles.
Yep.
Throw those on the ground. That's what I did.
Louis threw everything on the ground. And
everything that could be thrown on the ground, I threw on the ground.
And at first, I thought it was just being ridiculous.
Yes.
And it was, but it turned out there was actually solid logic behind it. Unintentional.
Yes. It was like a cat simulator where I was just going through and knocking stuff on the ground. But I got so mixed up in that game. The maps I couldn't figure them out. Rob helped me, which was amazing.
But yeah, every time he'd look into a room, if everything was strewn about on the floor, he's like, oh, I've been in that room.
Yep.
I've explored everything connected to that room. So actually, it wasn't altogether crazy.
It was my plan all along.
Now, this is smooth locomotion only.
Yes.
We played this on the index, but it works on seated, it works standing, and it works room scale. It is listed on the index. The Oculus Rift has the Windows Mixed Reality. It'll work on everything according to them.
Yes, and if you are standing or doing room scale and you don't have wireless, you are going to be twisting up your headset. At least I did. I twisted it up bad.
Well, I did snap turning, so for me it was a little bit better. But the only other thing I'm going to say before we get into pros and cons is it is scary, but it's not really scary. This is more atmospheric scary with the odd jump scare in it. So, Louis, this is a $25 US game. Pros, cons, and would you recommend this? Go.
A couple of my pros are it has the best jump scare, albeit accidental.
It got him.
It got me good, which was awesome because they almost never do. It has the best jump scare that I've experienced in a very long time, and I'm not going to spoil it for you guys. Another one is I kind of liked the roam around puzzle kind of feel of it. One of my cons is the keys. The keys were the devil.
Okay, so you find keys. The whole thing has you looking to try to solve puzzles in the sense that you're looking for clues, okay? You're not really looking to solve puzzles, you're looking for clues. And you'll find keys that'll open up a certain door, for example.
Yes, which will expand your roam of the house, which will allow you to find more clues.
But to do that, show your strategy for making the key work. So you have to do it underneath the doorknob, right?
So I'm a touch on the taller side. I didn't actually see that there was a keyhole on the bottom.
But even when you see it, you can't just insert it and have it work.
Yeah.
So that is something that if the developer's watching this, and I think you might be, it would be nice if that part could be fixed. The key would be nice if it was a little smoother.
Yeah, even if the key just kind of passed through the doorknob. If you're using the right key on the right lock, just make it work.
It would be nice. Okay, sorry, back to guns. Anything else?
My other con is that the boiler. The boiler was the devil also.
Okay, so we said no spoilers, and the game tells you right off the bat that you can use these lighters to light candles, which can move you back in time.
Or a boiler. They say that right off the bat. They say it once.
Now, here's the thing, and we are trying to stay away from spoilers, but this is something that almost ruined the game for us,
Yes.
okay? So the boiler, when you approach it, doesn't have a hand to interact with it.
Yes, and everything that is interactable, has that little icon.
Now, Louis said...
This did not.
Louis said, he said the boiler. I'm like, maybe that's not the... It looks like a boiler. Maybe it's not the boiler.
And throughout the previous game, I was thinking, well, maybe they meant all the little...
Like the radiators
the radiators, and I was trying to adjust radiators, and it was never working.
So 4 to 5 minutes later, Louis is fighting with his hand. There is nothing appearing, and I'm thinking, Louis, you're wasting your time. Like, there would be something there if it worked.
You would think so. And bam! It shows up!
The interactive icon popped up after Lou was able to open it and he could light it. Okay, so yes, that is something crazy annoying.
Yes.
But if you know it going in, just know that when you find a boiler, you can light it.
Yes.
Anything else?
Eventually. I think that's it for me. I do recommend this game. You know, all in all, I think it's a great way to spend 2.5, 3 hours. What's your pros, cons?
So my pro on this game is it actually looks really good. I like the idea that it isn't like full-on horror, because a lot of people don't enjoy games that are really, really scary, and it isn't. This is atmospheric scary stuff, like the odd jump scare, but it is really not a scary game as far as that goes.
Yes.
It is more a roam around and kind of feel tense the whole time.
Yes.
I'm gonna say a con because it stands out so strong for me is the fact that interacting is really frustrating. Like reaching for a door, you mentioned the key, but when you're just reaching for a door, if you squeeze with an index controller, for example, it'll change what's in your inventory on your right hand, and you can only interact with stuff when your hand is empty.
And you can only interact with your right hand.
Your left hand is delegated to holding a flashlight or nothing.
Yep.
So you cannot open doors with it, you can't grab stuff. Your left hand is almost useless as far as that goes. So the number of times that I was trying to interact with something and then something else would pop up, very frustrating. Trying to save the game. I'm trying to pick up the paper. Oh no, you don't pick it up by squeezing it, you pick it up with your trigger. Fine, okay, I pick it up with my trigger and I'm trying to move it down. Well, moving it down doesn't do it. I press my A button or whatever. And I finally get it to the save point I want to and I go, yes, save it. And it's like, are you sure? Yes, pull the trigger, nothing. Yep. No, of course, if you want to save it, you have to flick your joystick to the left.
Yes, and that's using the index. Other controllers are probably different, maybe less problematic.
Maybe.
We don't know. We've only played through this on the index.
But all the frustration aside, for the amount of time you play through it, it's a good time. I think the developer did a good job. The graphics are good. It's fun. Again, I cannot believe that electrician will crawl through the front window to make that job happen.
Yep.
He is motivated. And that is a review for Dreamback VR. The mechanic for when you light a candle and are able to travel into the past to see a little something, it's neat. Other games haven't really done that, and that's cool.
Yep.
The interaction needs a little work, but that's our review. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. We love hearing from you, and we'll talk to you again real soon. See ya.
Bye.